Greetings, family, friends, and loved ones. It's been a while since I did a reflection for you all. I missed you. You were on my mind, and you were definitely in my prayers. For me, on my end, I've been dealing with a spiritual journey where I've been doing a lot of reflection as it relates to the work that I'm doing in the direction that God is taking me. And I'm going to share more with you about that direction as the future nears. But right now, I wanted to talk about this notion that I use all the time. Every time I'm in a group setting, I ask the guys this question: who's the author of your story? And I tell them to say this: I am. And then I ask another question: what does that mean? And then they say, I write my own ending. And I don't know if you ever realize, right? Sometimes we forget that we're the author of our stories, and we just give away the pen, and we give other people authority to write our ending. And even when it comes to ourselves, sometimes we are our worst enemy. And we take the pen away from God. God is writing our ending, right? He's let us know that we can be the best thing that we are capable of being because we are his children. But sometimes we are harboring choices that we haven't really came to terms with. And I want to share a story with you that really brings this full circle for me. I was in a group recently this week, and I remember one of my fathers started to share. He started to talk about how his daughter is really loving him, and she's calling him despite his time being away from her, despite him living in a shelter, despite him having some issues with drinking and making so many mistakes that interfere with his ability to be present for his daughter the way that he wanted to be. And he started to cry. He was like, Charles, I can't get over the regret, right? My daughter still loves me despite the choices that I made. I just can't get over it. I am struggling with this regret. I need help with dealing with this regret because I just can't see how she continues to love me despite my flaws and despite the choices that I made. But one thing that was difficult for him was to forgive himself for the choices that he made. He was harboring, holding on to choices that it was difficult for him to let go of himself. See, his daughter still loves him, but he just can't find enough courage to love himself right now because when he sees that smile on his daughter's face, it reminds him of what he did wrong. But sometimes I just think about how easy it is for us to stay stuck in the choices of others, people that hurt us, right? Or we stay stuck in the choices that we made. And that's what my journey towards forgiveness is all about, right? We have been through so much ourselves, and we have allowed other things, other people, their choices, to interfere with where we want to go in our future and what God has in store for us, right? I remember I almost jumped out the window at Duke University. I was 10 floors up, and I remember what drove me there, and I tell the guys all the time, I know what drove me there. What drove me there was feelings of worthlessness, right? Feelings of inadequacy. And you know what? My worthlessness and my feelings of inadequacy was connected to someone else's choices. And it was my dad's choices. I almost killed myself over somebody else's choices. Now, if I did, would I have been here to talk about my son Clayton and to post these pictures about him? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't have, right? It's difficult to separate ourselves from other people's choices and what they did to hurt us. But the longer we stay angry, the longer we stay sad, we are giving authority to the devil, right, to destroy our lives. I wanted to share this love with you today because I'm reminded when I look at my father who's still harboring that regret, and I tell him all the time, listen, who's the author of your story? And he says, I am. I remember he said, I am, with tears in his eyes. And I asked him, I said, what does that mean? He says, I write my own ending. I said, do your choices write your own ending? The choices that you made that you're not proud of, does that write your own ending? He said, no. And I encouraged him to hold on to that. Because his daughter doesn't care about the negative choices that he made. His daughter cares about the choices that he makes today. She wants him to stay present in her life. And she continues to show that with love, encouragement, and grace. I want to leave you with that. When you find yourself getting angry and mad over what other people did, think about this. Right? It's okay. They have their choices that they made. They're going through their stuff, but we don't have to become their stuff with them. Have a good one.